daily basis, police officers at Or Tambo International Airport working closely with other stakeholders, the BMA, SAPS Customs. They conduct day-to-day operations at the cargo warehouse, at the terminals, and so on. So this past week on Wednesday, they made a discovery at one of the cargo warehouses of crystal meth worth about 2.3 million rand. And upon further investigation, we found that the meth was destined for the Philippines, and it was from South Africa. But we're still investigating who may be behind the trafficking of this particular drug. And then on the Thursday, again, while they were conducting their operations and inspections at the cargo warehouses, they made the discovery again of dagga. That was to be shipped from Morocco. That was actually shipped from Morocco and arrived in South Africa. Dagga was 672,000 rand. So we are still investigating. No arrests have been made. The drugs have been seized, and we are still tracking down the traffickers of these particular drugs.
Of course, this is not the first time, your members are catching criminals with drugs at the airport. Give us a sense. I know you said that on a daily basis you conduct some of these operations, but was there also a tip-off in this case?
So in the last 2 years, we've arrested about 20 drug mules. The majority of them were coming from South America, from Sao Paulo, Brazil, when they were found the majority of them having ingested, cocaine. So that is a culmination of intelligence-driven operations, because remember, when you ingest something, it's very hard to pick up. But through our thorough investigations, we are able to intercept these individuals. They are then taken to a local hospital where they are taken for scans. And the scans will then confirm that there are foreign objects in their stomach. They are then given something to release those particular drugs. So in the last 2 years, we have arrested about 20 drug mules. There was one Namibian, quite a young girl, that was sentenced to a number of years in prison. She was found last year. She had been coming from Sao Paulo. She had left from Luanda, Angola, to Sao Paulo, and her destination was South Africa, but she was Namibian. We've arrested quite a few, also Brazilians, Nigerians as well, that were found with that had ingested these particular drugs, and as well as young South Africans that are forming part of the syndicate. So we are following the money. We are looking for the handlers, because we do believe that the arrests that are being made are just the runners, the people that are being used to traffic these drugs.
Specific allegations or implications against you. The first one is you address the nature of relationships and details of communication on WhatsApp or Signal with listed persons. And you start at 85.
Maybe before you do that, General, in your paragraph 81.5, 81 rather, you don't mention among the instances where you say the problem is reflected, you give examples. You don't mention, and I would like to hear your comment about this. You don't mention, for example, loss of exhibits. We've had General Sinona testifying about the loss of drugs that were seized in a drug bust, and he was insistent in his testimony that it had to be an inside job. It had to be somebody who knew that place. So we've got a senior member of the police who says that. And on the second one, you can correct me if my facts are incorrect. I seem to recall that the Al Road drug bust also has issues about the drugs having been misplaced or something. I seem to recall that. You can correct me if I'm wrong. But also, as a member of the public, there's been who reads the media and listens to the news. There's been instances reported of exhibits that were under police control, having been lost through a break-in at a police station or where material is kept and gotten lost. The fact that you don't mention that, is it because you don't have that kind of experience? You don't consider that to be one of the issues?
Thank you, Commissioner. I know about them, but they are not under my environment. So hence I said I will talk about my experiences other than talking about something I heard and I don't have facts. Yeah.
But by virtue of your position, by virtue of being a member of the SAPS,
yes,
you are aware that there are those kind of reported cases.
Yeah, drugs were stolen,
yes,
and whatsoever. And that one of Al Road, the drugs were not stolen. So the police wanted to take the drugs.
I see.
The other police came and arrested them.
Okay.
And then that is where the fight is.
Okay.
And then they said, no, we were doing our job, you came and arrested us, it's defeating the ends of justice. So hence they opened case against Khan and Kadwa and Brigadier Skove.
Okay. No, thank you for the correction.
So that one, I know of the ones in KZN where a lot was stolen somewhere in Pretoria. We also, my team went to intercept a drug consignment at the harbor there. But unfortunately, they couldn't get the suspect because they were tipped off. But there was a lot of drugs. What we did, we called forensic and we took the drugs back to Pretoria to the lab because we knew when you take it somewhere, it will get lost. So we made such a precaution. But even though a lot of people were not happy, to say you come to my province, you take this and you do this, you take them. Yeah, you stole the drugs. But the drugs were intact, were put on scales and whatsoever, and then taken to the forensic where there is storage for that. Because even the National Commission, I remember once he approached us and said, can you come up with a legislature of disposal of these drugs, because in Brazil they are destroying them immediately before even the case end up at court. We said no, but we need to sit down with NPA because we can't do it alone, and find out a way to say where can we make a change, and say if we found such drugs, we remove some quantity, and then we test, and then we destroy the rest, because if we don't do though, they go back to the street again.
Thank you, General.
Thank you, Commissioner. General, page 28, paragraph 85, where you deal with the nature of your relationship and details of communication on WhatsApp or Signal with listed persons.
I wish to firstly state that I do not use Signal platform. I do not have an active Signal app or account, or have utilized Signal on either my work or my personal cell phone. My primary means of communication are my SAPS issued cell phone and my personal cell phone, both of which they utilize WhatsApp. As stated in my response to the Commission Rule 10.6 notice, for the sake of completeness with regard to WhatsApp messages, I shall repeat my response hereby submit that on the 8th of February 2025, my Samsung Z Fold 5.
Please don't read the number into the record.
Okay. Was stolen at Loftus Stadium in Brooklyn, Pretoria, while attending a soccer match between Sundowns and Pirates, where my team lost.
Which one is that?
Do you suspect Pirates fans?
No, we lost together. I'm Pirates too.
So you suspect Sundowns fans?
Yes. At the time of the incident, the cellular phone was in my trousers pocket and went missing and was stolen at the main entrance. Immediately upon discovering that I could not find it, I suspected theft and contacted the Vodacom call center, reported the incident to block the SIM card, and ITC reference number was issued to me as number 423.
You don't have to give the number.
Okay.
Just that the